like KHW is giving up the bucks, man.
We are giving them. I hate to tell you how much.
Yeah. Well, this is Johnny.
Yes, Johnny.
Yes. You're familiar with my voice and everything.
Yeah. How old, Johnny?
I'm 19.
All right. You've been an interesting caller. How have you done so far in calling the show?
Huh?
You had many calls?
I have had some very unusual calls. Our mother called me last week, and when she found out I was black, she hung up.
Oh, really?
She was going to get a date for her daughter, I guess. But I guess she said no mixing in her family.
All right.
So.
How do you feel about that?
I guess, if that's her feelings, that's cool,
All right.
Right.
Johnny, now, it's been my experience now, just obviously it's a very surface. I've known an awful lot of black men who have always gravitated to blonde, white women.
I have never dated myself a lady with blonde hair. I've always dated like ladies with red or brown or black hair.
Yeah, would you say that's pretty common as you've observed it?
Yes.
That a lot of black men, I think black men, they want the coup. Why? For what reason? I'm not sure. The coup of saying I have a blonde white woman. Why is that?
I have no idea whatsoever. I just I see it around a lot, and I just that's his thing.
Well, I guess don't you think that's somewhat of an adaptation of what the white male has done? Because he makes the blonde the focal point, the major prize.
Yeah, I may be one of the reasons why.
Mm-hmm. All right, Johnny, how do you feel about this thing of putting prayer back in the school as against, let's say, the atheistic stance of Russia?
Oh my God!
I think they should just leave it the way it is. Just a separation there.
Mm-hmm. It amazes me they even attempt to pass a bill. It sounds like a bill that was passed by the Colorado legislative body. They know they are going directly into the teeth of the Constitution. They're going directly into the eyes of the Supreme Court interpretation of the Constitution. How they expect this thing to be sustained is beyond me. As a matter of fact, if the Supreme Court sustains this, look out, they will strip your rights left and right.
Yeah, they don't get away.
I wonder how many people right now realize how dangerous a bill this is, assuming it is accepted.
Yeah. Get into like.
How dare you?
Comedians. Do you usually look at TV in the morning?
Very seldom. I may watch Phil Donahue. That's about it.
He had on the show this morning. He had on George Carlin.
Oh, he's great, isn't he?
Oh yes. And a lot of things he was saying, I could relate to because I went out to, I don't know if you remember this, I went out to the Dove and I tried out as a comedian, and I bombed, but I loved it. And I know that told me exactly what I would have to do in order to get those people to laugh,
Okay, now what did you learn from that, Johnny?
I learned that, okay, when I'm around my friends, and I'm trying to make them laugh, I get very extroverted,
Yeah.
I use my voices.
What you probably do is you relax. Don't you think you probably feel you got a common denominator with your friends?
Yeah.
In other words, they know certain things you can share, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people who think they have comedic potential miss the major point, and I think this is not a put down to you, okay? What I'm saying is because you tried hard, and you just simply haven't had the experience to be on stage to execute comedy.
Yeah, like he was saying, he said that he got in radio first, and then if they liked him on radio, he would go to comedy, and that's the same way I was looking at doing it. But I wanted to have the feeling of bombing first, and seeing how good or bad or how I would feel after I did.
Well, the fact that you had the courage to get up on stage and do it, I mean, it's a starting point, okay?
Yeah.
Now, what you have to do, I think all comedians have to learn.
Oh my God!
Is it running now? Yeah. Hi, everybody. This is the Godfather Soul James Brown. I tell you, this business is on. My man is on. Check him out. This is the Godfather Soul James Brown saying, stay with it and hit it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, welcome to the show tonight. Oh, man. 19 years old, when I still had hair on the top of my head. And I had a few other things, too. I'd like to welcome everybody to Innervision FM. Let's see, is everybody in the room? those who are speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay.
Well, I'll speak now. I don't have anything to say.
Yeah. I think Alan is in here somewhere.
I don't see him, but
But I thought somebody else came in.
yeah, Libby.
Oh,
Hi,
Libby.
this is Libby.
Libby, where's your partner, Alan?
I do not know. He told
Oh.
me to show up here in this room, so here I am.
Oh, well, let me see if he came like late, because he's usually there. I'm thinking like, oh, 2 people. It has to be him. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Where is it? Where are you, Alan? Yeah, because I want him to be a part of this. Ah. Ladies and gentlemen, okay. Well, let's see. Well, we may not have Alan tonight. How could you do this? Let me do one more thing. Hang on right there, Libby. I want to do something to find out if he's even in the house.
We don't
Sure.
need him.
Yes. So when everything should go right, there's always something that will knock you off your kills. And I'm glad you joined us, Libby.
Yes, good to be here.
Oh, yeah. Well, I want you to join me with Team Viewer and help me get somebody in the house. Hold on for a second. Yes. Yes, I do. Okay. Small business laptop. No, PC. I'm sorry, PC. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you get a look into the what is it, behind the scenes. And kids, if you're doing this for the first time,
It's exciting.
yeah, it's exciting. Okay. Okay, so you don't see the team viewer right here? Well,
We can see it.
okay. Is the screen on? You don't see anything? Huh.
I can see it. I don't know
No,
what you can't. Doesn't do any good.
She can't see it. Right. Okay. Is your screen still black? Hello? Oh, God. I had to get someone who, for some reason. All right, let's try this again. You did such a good job of getting our guest here, and here he's running late. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, you're not in the final cut. You're not going to see other stuff. Okay, hello. Hello. Okay, can you see now? Okay, I'm going to give you the password. Which I hope I can give you the password. Oh, God. Huh. Okay. Can you still not see the password? Oh, man, okay. Okay, let's see. I don't believe this. Okay. There's still a screen blocking, right? Okay. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is, oh man. Okay, so that's still blocking us. Okay. Well, let's see. I'm just kind of see if okay, let's see. Okay. I'm gonna close studio because that seems to be let me get. Okay, now let's go over to Team Viewer. Can you see it now? Yeah. Do you see another participant that's not in? How many? Okay. Yes, go ahead. Oh, and no Allen. Okay, and there's no iPhone. Okay, okay. So we'll just do it as is. All right. Thanks, Libby. Okay. So Alan's not going to make it tonight. He probably overslept. But okay, the topics we had tonight for it was Allen Berg. You just heard Allen Berg. Silence. It took me so long to get this. I used to call Allen Berg show all the time. I used to call a lot of talk shows all the time, and they wonder, like, when I was a kid, they said, "What is this kid doing on the phone?" And I figured, well, other kids didn't talk about what I wanted to talk about, because I would watch like nightly news and wanted to talk about the Vietnam War and all that good stuff. And the kids I hung out with, they said, "What are you talking about? Let's go play in the sand. Let's go find a toy." And I'm thinking, like, well, what about what's happening on the news? Well, you know, they just didn't have a clue, or the mindset wasn't that way of just wanting to know their surroundings as far as that. So I started making calls to talk shows, and Allen Berg was one of the ones, and he used to have this thing where they had a talent show. So I came out one time to do a talent show, and I bombed, like in a big way. And so it was just interesting to find out, like, not everybody is funny, and if you're, you know, you might be funny around your friends, but that's a total different thing. And he used to have this dating show, and man, that was interesting, because I would call in, I'm this 19-year-old kid, and I'm thinking, like, you know, I didn't know what the score was, as far as, like, why people thought I was such a bad person just because of my skin color and stuff like that. So it was just interesting. And of course, I took everything with a grain of salt and laughed about it, because, I mean, you know, if you sit around being all depressed about, not everybody likes me, wah, you know, wah, that'll drive you like up the wall. But you know, you just have fun with life, and just live life and have fun with life. Like this is a song by Bob Dylan that he wrote, and then Jimi Hendrix made it more famous. And it said, it's called Along the Watchtower, and it says, "There are some among us that think that life is but a joke." And you know, some parts of life is a joke. Then, okay, because I want to get to you, Livy, real quick. You're hanging in there, Livy? Okay.
Yep, I'm hanging in there.
Okay. I want to get that. Okay, so Jack Phillips, he's a cake baker, masterpiece cake, or whatever. And so I guess state of Colorado is trying to make a point with him saying, we're going to indoctrinate you to do what we say. And so we're going to send you these classes because you don't have sensitivity. And it's almost like the government and us conservatives, we let this happen where the government came in and we let different smaller appointed situations get to a point where we got the country to a point where common sense is not used very much. And he's not saying that he won't make a cake, he just will make certain types of cake that goes against his faith. And I'm thinking like for in the Catholic churches, I mean, they're getting very liberal. They say, hey, you can kill your baby and do all this kind of stuff. And so it's almost like, it's a scripture I put in there. It's like, don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And so for Christians to try to go along to get along, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Jesus ever went along to get along. I mean, and yes, sometimes the consequences, you get crucified, but hey, it is what it is. So,
I don't know if it's my 2 cents or not on this one. Since Alan's not here, I can chime in.
Yes. And Allen definitely didn't go along to get along. I mean,
No.
I sometimes I would call it, depending on his mood, he would rip me apart.
Yes.
So, but it was interesting because that it was a stick, it was a show, but some people took the show a little bit too seriously. And so Jack Ray, okay, back in court again. He's been doing this for 10 years. So, keep praying for him. And I'm thinking about going out and get it. I'm a little bit, tough, I got the stomach there, but I keep eating cookies and stuff like that. So I don't know what it is. My wife says, live life, for tomorrow you're going to die. So I said, okay.
Well, and this whole thing about, the crux of the thing is, he'll bake cakes, but it's the message that he puts on them, that he doesn't want to put certain messages on the cakes. And that gets to between, on the one hand, it's food, you're not going to turn people away from, a restaurant can't turn people away from coming and have food, but then it's the artistry that he puts on the cake. It's not the cake itself, but it's the art. And so suddenly it's like, well, I will make you a cake. You can take the cake. I don't care who you are or what you do. You can take this, you can buy this cake from me, but I'm not going to use my art to produce your message because I don't like your message. And that's where all artists are pretty much like that, regardless. Don't make me, as an artist, create a Christian message if I'm not a Christian, or don't make me create this message if I'm not that message. And so it's between his cake and the art on the cake. And I think that's what makes this such a controversial piece, because it's twofold. It's like, I don't want just a wedding cake. I want a wedding cake with a message. And I think that's where everybody's hung up.
Yeah. And I honestly, he started this business so he can really explore his artisticness. It's like somebody buying a record company and say, I'm going to express. Well, I don't even know if you could do that. If you buy a record company, yeah, I guess you could.
Yeah, record companies are genres. I mean, they'll do country, but they won't do rap.
Yeah.
And so, they can pick and choose. But if you're going to do country, what is the message within those country records? Or if you're going to do rap, what's the message within those raps? Yeah. Can you pick and choose? And then legally, people can sue, the publisher, not just the artist. So if I publish a book with really, issues inside the book, my publisher can also get sued, not just me for my book, but the publisher because they published it. And, so there's all these other layers.
That reminds me of this guy named Ice-T. And he's coming to California, and my wife says she wants to go to a concert. She doesn't know what she's getting into. But he has this group called Body Count. And he did a song called Cop Killer. But in the beginning of the song, he explains it's for not all police, it's the police that that beat up people because they have long hair or they look different. And he didn't say all cops, he just said, but they cut out that one part and then they just play the song and they say, well, that song is saying kill the police. No, not all cops. It's just those who choose to use the badge in a wrong way. And that was unusual because he explained this is not for all. This is for those who choose to do that. And so, yeah, it's so I don't know, 10 years, man.
Context. If you take context out of the conversation, you lose the whole thing.
Yeah. So I we'll keep him up in prayer and we'll. I mean, he's in the mouth of the lion, and so you know, so let the games begin.
You're right.
And beginning of being in the mouth of the lion and let the games begin, Livy, my friend Allen, he was telling me about your situation where you were going to your doctor's office. Tell us the situation. This is the first time you ever been to this doctor? Have you been there many times before? Did you just get your seeing eye dog and this is the first time? Give us a setup on how this came about.
Okay, so I was looking for a doctor that has a different approach, that's more like a holistic approach. And I have an insurance that's not very great, and so I'd been looking around for this doctor for a while. And I found this doctor and I made an appointment, and I have a guide dog. I've had several guide dogs, and so I'm a good guide dog handler and all that. And so I go to this appointment and I get to the desk in the doctor's office, and the front staff lady says, "You can't come in here with that dog."
Wow.
And I'm like, "Well, yes, I can, because it's a guide dog and that's, the law." She said, "Well, I'm going to have to get somebody. I'm going to get somebody." So she goes in the back and she comes out with the doctor. And the doctor says, "Nope." He said, there's people in here who have allergies. And he goes, "You wouldn't want anybody to get sick, would you? Because, they could be allergic to a dog."
Wait a minute, he's supposed to be curing allergies. Okay, but okay.
There you go, right?
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't even really an allergist. He was just like he's what they call a functional doctor. So they work with the whole body as a whole.
Okay.
So, I got out the ADA and it's the Americans with Disabilities Act, and on my phone, and I was getting ready to show him. He says, "Oh, I know all about that." And he says, "You can't bring your dog back here because people, they might have these allergies." And he said, "I'm not going to turn you away. I'll see you once, but then next time you come here, you have to leave your dog at home." And I said, and he said, and the accommodations that we're going to make are going to be that we're going to meet you at your Lyft or your Uber. When you get down there, our staff will come and get you, and we'll take you around up here in the office. And I said, "No, that's not how this works. You guys do not get to select my mobility aid. And, this is the law. And I'm trying to establish a relationship with the doctor. And so if you refuse to let me bring my guide dog, then I'm not going to come back. I mean, I see no point in it." So I left, and he wasn't really rude or mean or, anything. He just was acting like he was trying to protect his patients. So I went home and I put a review on his Google page, and I made a post on Facebook and Instagram, and my Facebook just started blowing up. Everybody's like, "Wow, doctor." I mean, all my years, and I've had guide dogs, for years. I've never been rejected from a medical appointment, ever, anytime for anything. So this was a first. So I was pretty shocked. But so I was going to go through the whole thing, do the whole media coverage and whatever I had to do to make sure this guy knows this is not right. But what ended up happening was he called me this morning and, talked to his lawyers and everything, of course, right? And he says, "I am really sorry. I did not treat you well." He said, "I would like to let you know.
Hey girls, I hate niggers. I hate the black people.
Who is this guy? Who is this guy? And then,
What?
Moon Man, tell them.
Hey, I've got this new dance for you all called the nigger boy. You gotta punch then crack a nigger's neck 3 times from left to right. Moon Man, up in this hoe, watch me crank, watch me roll, watch me crank that nigger boy, and Moon Man that hoe. Crank that nigger, crank that nigger, crank that nigger, crank that nigger. Moon Man, up in this hoe, watch me crank, watch me roll, watch me crank that nigger boy, and Moon Man that hoe. Crank that nigger, crank that nigger, crank that nigger, crank that nigger. Moon Man, up in this hoe, still got money in the bank. Farco made me racist, yo. Everybody give him thanks.
That's, I don't understand any of that.
that took me a long time. Hold on. Let me get this guy.
Hey, shut the fuck up, you fucking nigger. You fucking black nigger.
It's interesting because they're wearing black.
Oh, how rude.
They're wearing black. I don't
Okay, hold
understand.
on for a second.
It's like, I don't understand how that, wow.
That was really weird.
I know.
Is that somebody just breaking into the station?
Well, they
Yeah.
logged in as though they were just a common viewer, but then they surprised.
Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is so interesting.
Wow.
I'm glad you think it's funny, right? I mean, that was really nasty. It was mean.
Well, it was very mean and it was very crude, but at the same hand, they were dressed in black.
Yeah. A member of Artisa. I got to figure out how to, I'm on the button, so if they come back in, then I can just mute it. So
it looks like they're still up though. I mean, it looks like.
Oh yeah, he's still up. But
Okay.
I got control of it.
Do you want us to log out and come back in? You know,
No,
because I mean that.
Let's see. Hold on, more options.
Wow.
I've never seen it in person. I've heard about that kind of thing.
Yes.
I've never
Like
seen
so-
it.
Yeah.
I
Well-
just heard sometimes kids, I was on a Zoom call one time and some kids came on and were saying, you know, F you and this and that kind of stuff, right? But nothing like that. Wow.
Yeah. And these seemed like they were like 20 somethings or something. And
Oh man.
well, and it's like they didn't really have a message. They were playing, music and stuff. It's like they were trying to be rational about his message.
Oh, he left the space. So, okay.
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, and of course, when I upload this again, all the stuff would be.
We're not live, right?
Well, it is live, but it'll be recorded and edited.
But you.
Oh,
okay.
well,
I mean, it's not live, like as in we're playing to an audience right now.
Yeah, well, it's going out live, but like I sometimes I'll on my YouTube I'll edit it and then upload it again because sometimes like in the beginning I had all that complications, so I'll upload that back up to YouTube, and then I'll delete it from my other platforms.
Okay, good.
So
wow. Okie dokie. Anyways, tell me when.
Okay, go ahead. So it started blowing up on Facebook, like we got blown up there.
Yes. So the doctor calls me today, And he said, I want to let you know that I didn't treat you very well, and I'm sorry for that. And I was just trying to protect my patients, but I didn't realize that I was hurting my other patients. And he said, I would like to make 2 offers to you. One is that we have a fresh start and you come back as a new patient and your guide dog is welcome here. And 2, I would like, in the next 30 days, I'm going to offer my staff training on, different disabilities or, awareness or whatever. And he said, I really am sorry and stuff. And I really felt like it was a true apology. So I accepted it. And, that's task accomplished. Right. I mean, that's what I wanted to do, was educate the guy. I don't think he was, a blind hater or a dog hater or anything like that. But when he did ask me, tell me that I couldn't bring my dog, then I had to stand up for myself. I mean, I had to stand up for me, and everybody else was, a legit guide dog or service animal or whatever.
It had to have been scary at the same time, though, I would think. I mean, I think I see you as being brave in that moment. I felt like I would have cowered down, and I think that's great. And I think you got the result you were going for.
Well, brave in the moment of him, of leaving.
Of you standing your ground and saying, I don't have to go with your accommodation. This is what my accommodation needs to be.
Right. Yeah. Well, I have to stand up for myself and for the rights of my fellow citizens to do what the law says. And so it was just really cool that he actually changed his mind, and actually his apology was genuine to me. And, you can tell. I mean, of course, he could have been a good actor, but, you can tell, right, when somebody's being sincere about something like that. And so I am going to go back to him simply because I was really looking forward to the fact that I found this guy and that my insurance covered him. So I am going to go back and see what happens. But it had a really good ending. But, I didn't know, of course, how it was going to turn out. And those are never fun situations when you have to call the media and all that. But I was prepared to do it. But he came to his senses, and hopefully he can be educated and educate his office staff. And I can't really ask for more than that.
Yeah. Now, ladies and gentlemen, who's
I
watching?
could use $1 million, but hey.
Oh, yeah.
That's what someone said to me. They said, you shouldn't accept his apologies. You should just sue him. And they said that on Facebook, and I just wrote back and said, I'm here to educate people, not to sue people. I mean, I wasn't that damaged or anything. I mean, he came to his senses in one day and apologized and made it right. So to me, that's fair. What do you guys think?
I'm on your side there. I think that's, you opened up his eyes to something he wasn't conscious of. And it's obvious he's not had interactions with people before, and it was a whole new setting for him. And I think he was also, because his staff in that moment was saying, no, you have to leave. He's probably defending his staff without seeing your point of view. And I think after he had time to reflect on it, he was like, oh, wait a minute, my staff and I were wrong. and that's, I don't know, that's my take.
Yeah, and I'm glad you had that outlet of the meetup. I mean, it's been like, I don't know, it's like sometimes that the social media has been such a downer, but in this case, it seemed like it got the word out, and he said, wait a minute, those are some potential patients, perhaps, or who knows, or maybe he was sincere after he thought about it, because when he said when you were about to show him about the ADA, Alan was in some kind of accident, so he was at the hospital. That's why
Oh, wow. I hope he's okay.
Yeah. So he said he'll contact me when he gets home and everything like that.
Wow.
Man. But
what a show.
Yeah. I have a feeling that maybe I'm getting out there. So it's a good thing. I don't know, because you have to have your trolls and all that kind of stuff. And then eventually I got to get a moderator. Who knows, But hey, but I was just, okay, getting back to your story. I'm just happy that you had a source to get the word out, and it just wasn't kept underneath the carpet where somebody else might go in there and is unaware of your experience. And hopefully, there'll be some things that he could do, that he is doing, and others can do around that. I was telling Peter yesterday that this is back in the 80s. I mean, I would be in the 7-Eleven, me and my friends with our canes, and people would be thinking we're going to a pool tournament. And so I hope people come along. I haven't been to California lately, so it's such a big place, and America is such a big place that there are people who just maybe don't know, so hopefully this type of thing will get the news out, and people can leave like comments in the comment line. I'm almost afraid to say that. comments in the comment line, and give us some ideas about the shows that you would like to have upcoming, and we'll go from there. But Libby, I'm glad that you join us, and share your story.
Thanks for letting me share. I really want to get it out there, and I'm not really sure how widespread and big your audience is, but I'm sure it's massive. And I just want to say that, I want everyone to be aware of the rights of somebody that has a guide dog, that they are legally able to go anywhere that the public goes. So
I think you also did a good job of saying, here's how to handle it from your side, so that people don't just curl up and walk away defeated. You stood your ground and you spread the word. And I think that also is encouraging to people on the other side, saying, I don't have to just, walk away in defeat.
Right.
Yeah.
That's very true. Stand up. If it doesn't feel right, just take a minute, walk away, take a breath. I mean, even with this doctor, we're all guilty, I'm sure, of overreacting to a situation and then thinking, whoa, I shouldn't have done that. He was able to retract in time, even though I did get a really nasty review on his page.
Sometimes you need to, give a little, feedback,
but
negative and positive.
But you're not going to sue him or anything. I mean, you say, he was a genuine sorry. And I think that also is a good thing too, saying, you don't always have to sue people.
Right. There can be a resolution without a lawsuit. And what does that do anyways? It doesn't, I mean, you might get some money out of it, or you might not. You might spend a lot on an attorney, but that doesn't always resolve an issue for sure.
Right. So, and then understand that I do have a book out called 6 Years of Blindness, and you'll be reading stories like that too. We're doing an overgraph of it now to put it back out again, because, man, I had a lot of run-on sentences. So I have a friend that she's good at that stuff. So she's rewriting it. So if you got the first copy, hold on to it. Maybe 20 years from now, it'll be really worth something.
The first edition.
Yeah, the first edition. Yeah. So I kind of sort of like this with my book. I'm letting people that are in the book tell me how they saw it from their view. Because the lady who's editing, her boyfriend at the time was one of our camera guys. So she could tell like what she was doing during the time he was shooting and stuff like that. And I'm sure she was there, traveling up, because we did on location shots in the mountains and everywhere else. So I'm sure he just didn't leave her at home and say, hey, you stay here while I go do this job for Johnnie. So that's always fun to find out what other people were seeing and doing at the same time as well. So anyway, you guys, I'm gonna end the show tonight. So we'll see you Monday. I don't know what we're gonna talk about Monday. There were 2 other people with the names starting with A, and I just said no, I'm not letting them in. and I'm gonna learn more about how to quickly delete people too, which I learned on the fly tonight.
Yeah, well, that was something I was glad to be a
or maybe it's just the spirit of Allen Berg, because crazy stuff happened whenever I went on his show too.
Well, you should keep this, even if you don't air it, but just keep it in your archives for future. It may come in handy for something.
Bribery.
Oh, yeah. Well, God bless you guys for joining, and we'll see you Monday for whatever topic we're gonna have Monday. Who knows?
All right. Thanks, Libby.
All right. Thanks, you guys. Have a great weekend.